Hello, hello, hello. It's Laura Gathers here of Love Harder Marriage Coaching, and today is my anniversary. So I wanted to hop on this morning and share with you something that has been penetrating my heart, something that has been very dear to me, and something that I have been actually implementing for the past 9+ months. So, as I stated, today is my 13th anniversary, and I am still trying to wrap my mind around the fact that I have been married to my husband for 13 years. Thank you for the anniversary wishes. And I just can't believe that I've been married to him for 13 years, but the time has been passing by quickly and we are growing. And I'll speak for me, I am growing and developing each year. So today is marriage takes two, but let's focus on you. I want you to hear, I'm going to say it again. Marriage takes two, but let's focus on you. And that has been my personal theme for the past 9+ months. And I want to talk about why that theme is vital and important to me in hopes of it equipping and impacting you. But this has been something that I have taken on personally to help me grow and develop, not just as a wife, but as a woman. And I can see these tactics, I can see these tools helping to navigate me into the next season of my marriage and helping to cultivate a mindset that is needed for us to endure and enjoy marriage. So, taking on this mindset that marriage takes two, but let's focus on you, has helped me take responsibility for the only person in this marriage that I can change: me. It has allowed me to take on the focus of what can I do to become the spouse that I would want. That's the mindset that this has cultivated. It's caused me to grow and develop as a woman and as a wife. It's led me to get healing in areas that I was not aware of. I had no idea about. And I'm going to talk more about that in detail. And it has positioned me to be the type of person I would want to be married to. And so as I go back through these concepts, I'm going to break them down a little bit more. So the first one, it helped me to take responsibility for the only person that I can control in the marriage, and that is me. How did it do that? It allowed me to become accountable for my actions, the role that I play in my relationship. I stopped looking at what my spouse could do better. I stopped looking at what my husband could, what I would want him to become or be in the relationship. And I said, who do you need to show up as? What role did you play in that problem or that conflict? What role did you play in that heightening? Because if you follow me, you know that conflict isn't a bad thing. It's how you handle conflict that determines whether it's a good or bad thing. And so when I started looking at those things versus what my husband could do to make my life better, I started looking at what could I do to make his life better. It allowed me to understand that I was doing things that was convenient for me, but really wasn't helping him. And I'm going to say that again. When I really looked at that whole concept of what can I do to make my husband's life better, it helped me acknowledge that a lot of the things I was doing was convenient for me. It really didn't challenge me. It didn't cause me to, really go outside of the box. It was like, I'll fix dinner because, we all got to eat. But when he started saying, you know what, honey, I'm getting tired of red meat. Can we switch it up a little bit? Now I'm like, wait a minute, bro. Look, be happy with the red meat. But when it challenged me, then I had to check my heart. Your husband is saying, hey, I'm tired of red meat. Can we switch it up? So now I got to get more creative in the kitchen. And it's easy to say, oh, you should be thankful. But no, if I'm saying that, hey, I'm going to cook for the family and someone brings a suggestion to me, then I need to adjust. And a lot of times we want other people to adjust around us versus us taking responsibility and accountability and being the one who does the adjustment. And so that's what this concept, marriage takes two, but let's focus on you, has done for me. It allowed me to take accountability for me. And then when I say it caused me to grow and develop as a woman and as a wife, What this did was it made me more responsible for my emotional well-being. A lot of times, especially in marriage, we can point that finger well. And what I realized is that I was allowing my emotions to think for me. Your emotions can't think, your emotions feel. You have to tell your emotions what to do once they feel what they feel. And so when I adopted the mindset that marriage takes two, but let's focus on you, I began to take control of I began to manage my emotions. Okay, yeah, you're angry. Why are you angry? And what should you do about that anger? Because you coming back with a statement that's not going to bring a solution but create a bigger problem is not the answer. And when I started to be more mindful of the role that I was playing in my relationship, in my marriage, then I started to become more responsible for the emotions. No, you didn't make me do anything. You didn't make me say anything. You didn't make me respond anyway. I chose to do that. And I need to understand why. Why am I choosing to respond this way? And once I started to get to the root of why, some of it was just, environmental, childhood upbringing, then I began to say, you know what? I can feel that emotion, but I can't respond out of that emotion. And so once I began to do that, then I began to see some growth in me as a woman, as a wife, and not getting off on these emotional responses so quickly, but really processing, why am I feeling this way? And what do I need to do about this feeling? How can I communicate this feeling in a way that's not attacking him, but it's attacking the issue? Okay? The next thing, it led me to get healing in areas I didn't know about. And what that did was, I'm talking about, right around November or December, I decided to start seeing a therapist. And I wanted her to ask me the hard questions. I wanted her to ask me the questions that maybe no one else would know to ask me. And what that has done is it has brought up some things from childhood, from previous relationships, from just living life that I would not have addressed on my own, that I would not have known to address on my own. But when I started taking responsibility for the other person, me in the marriage, then it caused me to want to grow and develop and really see how I can become the type of person I wanted to be married to. And that has been a game changer for me. This lady has asked me questions that has caused me to dig up some hurts, but allow healing to come forth. And that is monumental for me. And it will be monumental for you as well. Yes, hi Shakia. Yes, therapy matters, sis. It allowed me to see that my way of doing things is not the only way of doing things, which I sort of knew, but it allowed me to embrace the new ways of doing things, even if I don't think that they're going to work, but just see how things will go versus trying to be in control. I don't know if you're like me, but I'm an oldest child. I'm used to just being able to go and do things, and that's just not how it should be in marriage. You bring your suggestion, they bring theirs, and then you figure out what's going to work best for you. You don't get to be the end all be all in your marriage, and that was hard for me to accept. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. And then it positioned me to become the type of person I wanted to be married to. And what does this mean? This means that I stopped using the 5 love languages and the Enneagrams to be an excuse or a weapon against my spouse. And I started to use them as tools to help me understand who I am and the role that I play in my marriage. And that was huge because yes, I may be an Enneagram, whatever, but that doesn't mean that I get to act this way. That doesn't mean that this can control, or I can make an excuse for why I respond this way. Yes, my love language may be acts of service or physical touch, but him not doing that does not mean that he does not love me, because love is patient, and he is very patient with me. Love is kind, and he has been very kind to me. But what that does is it tells me, okay, this is how you can implement some self-care. So if you like gifts, if you like receiving gifts, then know what, sis? Go buy yourself a gift. Go buy yourself a gift, sis. If you know that this is how you respond and you need to come up with a plan, you need to put a process in place so that you're not responding that way. If you know those are your annoyances, then you need, or your triggers, then guess what, sis? You need to create and develop something to make sure that when you are annoyed, you either leave the situation or you deal with the situation. But you don't get to respond because that's your Enneagram number that way. You don't get to do that. You don't get to say, oh, my husband doesn't love me or my wife doesn't love me, because they're not showing you love according to your love language, but they're showing you love according to 1 Corinthians chapter 13. We're not doing that. We're not using these things as weapons. I'm not doing that. I'm not using these things as weapons. I'm using these things as tools to help me learn more about myself, to help me grow and develop into who I need to become. Because when we start using these things as weapons and using them as measuring sticks, or using them as ways to justify why we are responding or doing things, then we are using them as weapons. And that's not what these tools were. That's not what these concepts or these things were created for. And let me say this, because I just feel really led to say that. You just found out what your love language is about 5 hot seconds ago. And now you expect your spouse to be able to do what? Love you according to that love language, to implement that. You just learned about it 5 seconds ago. Give that person time. Give them time. But more importantly, don't use that as your measuring stick. Okay? Give them time, and then don't use that as your measuring stick. They are growing and they are developing just like you are. Thank you, Shakia. But that is what the whole concepts of Marriage Takes Two, but Let's Focus on You has done for my life in the past 9+ months. And as I continue down this path of growing and developing into not only the woman that I want to become, but the spouse I want to be married to, I'm sure that I will learn many more concepts that I will hop on here and share with you. But today is my anniversary. I am going to be headed home. I've been away from home for 4 or 5 days taking care of my mom. So I'm headed home today. So I'm going to hop off here and go handle my priorities so that I can go and spend some time with my husband on our anniversary. But I wanted to share these things with you all in hopes of them being tools to help you, equip you for your marriage so that you can succeed in marriage. Let's reevaluate the role that we play in our relationship. Let's start taking some accountability for how we show up in our marriage. And then let's continue to grow in all these areas, not only so that our spouse can benefit from it, but so that we can become the best version of who we only do that. We can only do that when we surrender our lives to God and we accept who He has called us to be in our relationship. Okay? All right. I'm praying for you all. Thank you for the happy anniversary wishes, and you all have a wonderful, wonderful Matrimony Monday. Bye.